And we say good morning to all of you. It is 8:30. I'm Danita Harris alongside Brissa Bradfield and Matt Wentz as we are keeping it going till 9 o'clock today. We survived the winter storm. We're all still here, but, and it's a big but.
Oh boy.
More to come.
No.
More to come.
We can't handle anymore, Matt.
Not a winter storm, but you know.
Cold.
Cold, yeah.
A little bit of flaky.
Cold's not as fun to talk about, but it's just as bad.
It's important.
Right, and especially if you're getting the kids. I know the kids want to go out and play today. It's cold. Like, this isn't the worst cold we've had, but it's certainly on the dangerous cold side. Later on this week, I'll show you some of the numbers. We've got weather impact alerts that continue all week long for that dangerous cold that's going to be around all the way through Friday at this point right now. Snowy outside. Snowflakes falling over at Hopkins. We're at 12 right now. The wind is out of the west at 12 as well. So the wind, not too much of a factor still. It wasn't for the entire winter storm, right? The snow just fell at marathon pace. It took forever to get those accumulations up. But we are watching lake effect snow here this morning, starting to really pick up in intensity right now along I-90 out in Lorain County. We have another little burst of snow starting to pick up once again out towards the 271-480 split. Winter weather advisories out, 2 to 4 inches where snow persists today. I have a feeling this is going to kind of stick around. Our lake is frozen. It's about 92% frozen. We still get lake effect. Despite the fact we've got a lot of ice on the lake, we get help from other lakes as well. So lake effect going across the Great Lakes. Out towards the east, though, you notice here's our snowstorm. It is outbound. That's the good news. Behind it, we've got high pressure. That high pressure is bringing in just so much cold air. And it's not just us. It goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast. These are your cold weather alerts. Not for January cold that we're all used to. This is for the dangerous stuff all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Just incredible. All right, temperatures right now, low teens, upper single digits. You factor in the wind. Yeah, it's blowing out there. We've got wind chill values around -5 when the wind blows. Look at the cold stuff to our north, though. This is inbound. We've got a system that'll bring it here tomorrow. We'll have wind chill values tomorrow morning around -20. So we've got to prepare for that. Today, around 17, there's your clouds with some lake effect snow early. Otherwise, temps will drop off tonight. We've got snow on the way tomorrow. Let's talk about that. We'll talk about accumulations, forecasts, and head all the way through the weekend ahead in just a couple minutes. Let's send over to Brissa for a look at traffic.
Yeah, traffic is a little bit dicey this morning, again, especially those back roads that aren't treated or haven't been plowed yet. Take it easy, be patient with ODOT. They have been so busy overnight. There are still hundreds of plow drivers out here this morning, even across the statewide. A look at the lakeshore this morning. Drivers traveling along I-90 here at East 55th Street. These drivers in these westbound lanes heading towards the city. These drivers in these eastbound lanes heading away. Both lanes are moving. We have all lanes open. You can see some of the shoulders a little bit snow covered through here, but you can see kind of the slushy mess even from this camera on those roadways. So just take it easy when you do travel on out the door this morning. Roads are still slick. They are better. They are not perfect in comparison to yesterday. Taking a look at the big picture map, we are tracking a new accident. This one popped up not too long ago. It is down here. Well, first I want to remind you of the one in Bedford, 271 northbound just after Broadway. We also have an accident down in the Akron area. It's along 77 northbound just before you hit 76. It is blocking a lane in those northbound lanes. Southbound through that stretch of 77 in the Akron area, you shouldn't have any issues. Here's a live look. Route 8 drive times right now, not looking too bad. Going to take you 19 minutes to get between 76 and 271. Average speeds on Route 8 about 55 miles per hour. So not too shabby to start off our week. Danita.
All right, thank you, Brissa. Well, we all know the snow can cause a lot of problems, but it can also bring a little bit of joy. So before we get to our team coverage of the storm, let's get some perspective from some of the youngest snow lovers out there.
Yeah, I like the snow. I like being outside and just enjoying it.
All right, so David, do you agree with Jeffrey from Rocky River? Did you have moments where you really enjoyed the snow instead of dreading the snow?
Oh, 100%, Anita. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I live in an apartment right now, and yesterday was the perfect type of storm where I said to myself, I was like, I wish I had a backyard, because I would go and just play in the backyard. Even though it's very cold, you can bundle up, you can wear layers, you can do it safely. But I wish I was able to play in the backyard. All right, we're driving here on Superior, right, I guess, a couple minutes away from Cleveland State, which is closed today, by the way. But you're seeing the roads here in downtown Cleveland. Not looking good right now. It seems like the snow's just kind of been compacted down to the ground. It's relatively cleared, but it's just kind of compacted down. So it's still very slick out there. So if you are heading out, just make sure you're doing it slowly and safely. We're seeing some people kind of walk along the streets as well. Don't recommend doing that unless you're walking unless you're walking in, you know, with the crosswalk and everything like that. As Tim pointed out, the sidewalks are also snow covered over, so it can be difficult to kind of drudge along here. What do you think? How are the conditions downtown?
I mean, downtown, typical, very bad. They wait for the sun to come out and hopefully it'll melt.
Hopefully it'll melt. Well, there's a lot of snow out there, especially when you're turning right and left as well. You want to make sure you don't get stuck. So, all right, we're coming up to the station, Danita.
They must be out of salt, too. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Danita, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, and appreciate that coffee report as well. Thank you, Greenberg. And while crews work to clear out the snow, many cities continue to deal with a salt shortage. ODOT, on the other hand, says they're stocked with salt. Our Candace Hare has been out on the roads, traveling both city and state roads. And so, Candace, what's happening right now?
Well, I can tell you what, Danita, we are back downtown in Cleveland. We've made our way back, and you mentioned the salt, and yeah, you could see that difference right away when we were on the interstate where ODOT has their jurisdiction and they say they have no issues with salt, and that was pretty clear. And then you get yourself back downtown, and I'll credit to them. We said it even yesterday. Crews out here in Cleveland have been doing the best they possibly can all throughout this, even before the winter storm hit. But if you don't always have all the resources, and we know that we've reported on that being a struggle at times for them not always getting all of their shipments of salt that they'd ordered, then you're left with some of these conditions sometimes. And that's what people are having to deal with if they come downtown. We know crews are going to do everything they can, but you can only do everything you can with the means of what you have. We know that they got that shipment in, but these winter storms, they take so much salt, so it really can put a strain on capacities, especially when they are already limited. But needless to say, driving downtown still is better than yesterday. If you were out yesterday, things were very, very difficult, especially if you didn't have an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive car. Today, people are out there moving, just doing so very slowly. I would say wherever we are, whether it's downtown, whether it's the interstate, prepare to be traveling about 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. So that's going to be a considerable amount of extra time you need to account for if you head out today. Danita?
All right, Candace, good advice. Thank you so much. And this winter storm continues to impact air travel from coast to coast. We do know yesterday alone, more than 11,000 flights were canceled across the country. Today, that number is more than 3,700, according to FlightAware. Meanwhile, at Cleveland Hopkins, at least 48 flights are canceled today, within, into, or out of the country. So if you have travel plans, be sure to check with your airline before heading out the door. A heads up today, as we have several closures across Northeast Ohio. Multiple courts and offices will be closed today. This includes in Huron, Cuyahoga, and Summit counties. This impacts the Summit and Cuyahoga County Common Pleas courts, along with the municipal courts in Rocky River, Lakewood, Shaker Heights, and Berea. Akron Municipal Court will only hold arraignments. All other hearings will be rescheduled. As the cold sticks around, doctors at Cleveland Clinic are warning about the risk of frostbite with the sub-zero temps. It happens when skin and tissue actually freeze in extreme cold. Early signs: cold or tingly skin, which eventually turns to numbness. If that happens, seek medical help right away. For minor frostbite, you can treat it at home with warm water, but never use hot water, which can make it worse. Akron Children's Hospital is using a new treatment for frostbite. The FDA approved the medication Airlumin last year, and it's now being used for the very first time. Akron Children's Burn Center has already treated about a dozen patients with the drug since December, but the medication has to be given in a certain time window.
And we've used it quite a few times so far this season. So those patients can come in if they've been diagnosed with frostbite within a 72-hour window. And that window starts from the time that they are warmed up to normal body temperature. We have a 72-hour clock then to try to get them this therapy.
The treatment is given over the course of 5 days and is currently only offered at Akron Children's and Ohio State.